So welcome to the fifth lesson of Unit 1, Topic 1, which is algebra. So we talked about this the last class, arithmetic sequence and arithmetic series. So just so you know, arithmetic means that you are adding to get to the next term. So like 1, 3, 5, 7, 9, so on and so forth. There is a number that we introduced last time, right? Which is if you're taking what is the number called when you are adding, right? This in this case is adding 2 to get to the next term. So this term is called the common difference, and this is called U1. So U1 is equal to 1, which is just our first term. U2, 3, 4, you get the point, okay? So just so you know, an arithmetic series is now when I'm taking those numbers that we have and we're adding them together. So series means that we are adding bunch of numbers up together. And so there are questions that are on the IB exam and that you'll see throughout the course of the year, maybe 2 years about this. So what does sigma notation mean? Sigma just means take all the numbers and add them up. That's what this Greek letter E mean. So here the 1 is the number that you start at, this 3 is the number that you end at, and this basically is our rule. This is our rule. So let's go ahead and just show you how to do this. So I want to show you how to do it in the calculator first, and I'll explain why the calculator is giving you that answer. So you hit math, go all the way down to the bottom. I just hit the up arrow, and there's something called option 0, which is summation. And here is where you put in your letters. So here the variable is I. So I'm just going to go ahead and hit alpha, and I is right here. So I equals 1. This is different than our lowercase I, which stands for imaginary. Our higher number is 3. The number that we end at is 3. And our rule is take your I, so alpha, right? Go back to the I, and we're going to square it. So raise to the second power, and then we're going to hit enter, and our answer is 14. So this answer is 14, but let's figure out why is the answer 14? Like, what does this even mean? So basically what you're going to do is you have I, right? This is like our X, and this is like our Y, and our Y is going to be I squared. So the number that we start at is 1, and then the number that we end at is 3, and we are counting, so 1, 2, 3. Um, in this column right here is I squared, so 1 squared is 1, 2 squared is 4, 3 squared is 9, and remember what summation means, right? That E means to add all these up, and when you add them up, you do indeed get 14. So that's why your calculator gives you 14 for it, okay? There are a couple of examples here and notes. Here's your examples. So definitely go through and read through those and make sure you're comfortable with them. And we're going to do an actual problem. So it says calculate the sum of the first 20 terms in the arithmetic sequence. So keep in mind that this right here, these two formulas are given to you. And this is called arithmetic series. So we're looking for the sum of the first 20 terms in the series. So we do need to find, right, this formula is going to be used if you know what the common difference is, the first term is, and the number that you're looking for, which is called n. In this one, you're going to use it if you have the n, which in this case is 20 divided by 2. U1 we know is 100, but we don't know our nth term. Like we don't know what the 20th term is, so we are not going to be using this formula. We're going to be using this one. Sometimes you will be given the 20th term or the nth term, and then you could plug it into this formula right here. So let's go ahead and plug these things in. So n is 20. That is then we're looking for the first 20 terms. Our U1 is equal to 100, and this is going by -2. And again, to find that U2 minus U1 is equal to 98 minus 100 is equal to -2. So we're going to go ahead and this is our common difference. Our difference is -2. Where did it go? Right here. All right, so our difference is equal to -2. All right, so now we're going to plug it into our formula. So this is equal to, I'll just do it right here. Let me change color so things don't get messy. So I have a fraction here, and n is 20, so 20 divided by 2, parentheses or brackets, 2 times our first term, which our first term is 100. So I'm going to plug that in, plus n minus 1, so 20 minus 1, times our difference, and that's times negative 2. I'm going to close the big parentheses right here. So then you just take your calculator and you literally just plug it in. So I just went and plugged it in to get the fraction in the calculator. Again, alpha y equals, right? You're literally just plugging this in. I did not plug in these brackets. I guess I could have, but I just used parentheses for it, and you're just going to hit enter and you get 1620. Okay, so 1620 is going to be the answer for our question. The rest of it, the examples are pretty straightforward. Example 8, I do want to go and spend a little bit of time on. So the third term of an arithmetic sequence is 0. So they're giving us that U3 is 0. And it says the sum of the first 15 terms. So the sum of the 15 terms is going to be negative 300. So we're just going to write down what they just gave us. Find the first term. So we're looking for U1 and the sum of the first 10 terms. Okay, so they definitely gave us a lot of information. So I just went ahead and organized it, right? What's our given? What's our asked for? So we know we have a couple of different formulas here, right? So we know that the third term, right? Remember this formula. So UN is equal to U1 plus n minus 1d. So we know that our first term is something that we're looking for, right? So we don't know our U1. N minus 1, we're looking for the third term, so U3. So that's going to be 3 minus 1 times our common difference, which we don't know, so we're just going to put that as D, so we can simplify this, right? Our third term is 0, so 0 is equal to U1, which we don't know. I forgot the plus sign, plus 2D. That's one equation that we have. They also gave us another piece of information, right? They told us that the sum of the first 15 terms is negative 300, so we have to use that. So S of 15, right? So remember the formula that we just learned today. So, which is, let me go back and write that, right? So S of n is equal to, so it's going to be n over 2, and this is the second formula that we did, and this is going to be, we have 2u1 plus, we're actually going to use the first formula, my bad, because we don't have the nth term, so we're going to use d. And let's close those parentheses. And now let's go ahead and do some plugging in. So we are told that S15 is equal to, right, 15 over 2. And then we do parentheses, 2. We don't know what U1 is, so we're going to leave that there. Plus, this is going to be 15 minus 1. And we are looking for the common difference as well. Okay. So we can go ahead and simplify this, right? S15, they told us that the 15 term is negative 300. So negative 300 is equal to 15 over 2 times 2u1 plus 14d. So now that we have our two unknowns, right, we can go ahead and simplify this. So we have this right here, and we also have this right here. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and use our Polysimult 2 app, right? So we're going to go to our calculator, option number 2 on mine, but on yours it might be 8, 9, or 0. Press any key here. We're going to do simultaneous equation solver, so option number 2. There are two unknowns, right? U1 and D, and two equations, so we're going to hit next, which is graph. Now let's go ahead and plug this baby in, right? So the number in front of the U1 is 1. Hit enter. The number in front of the D is 2. Hit enter. The number that's by itself right here is 0. Hit enter. And then here we have something that we need to simplify, right? So we have to do distributed property here first. So 15 over 2 times 2i, or 2 u1. These cancel out. You could do 15 times 2, which is 30, divided by 2 is still 15. So 15 u1 plus, and then 15 times 14d. That's going to give us 105d, and this is equal to negative 300. Okay, so now we have enough to put into our calculator. So we have in front of the U1 there is a 15, so we're going to hit enter. After that, in front of the D, we're going to put 105, the common difference, and the number that's by itself is negative 300. And then we want our calculator to solve by hitting graph, and we have something. So my calculator gave me 0, right? I know something is automatically wrong, and when I went back to look, right, I didn't hit enter after this negative 300. That is a common mistake. Now I'm going to hit solve, right? And I get my U1, which is 8, and I might get my common difference is negative 4. So now let's go ahead and write that down, right? So our U1 is equal to 8, and our common difference is negative 4. So that is definitely something that we needed. And it says find the first term and the sum of the first 10 terms. So we have the first term is 8, so that is done. And to get the sum of the first 10, we're going to plug it into our formula. And this part is going to give you the sum of the first 10 terms. And that's it. All right, keep practicing.